Who are we to judge a game that sold 4.7 million copies in its first month on the shelves? There's no denying Super Mario Odyssey is a masterpiece, but even masterpieces aren't perfect. Get ready, because we're going in on your favorite game whether you like it or not. Before we begin, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring that bell to become a part of our notification squad so you never miss a video. Without further ado, here is everything wrong with Super Mario Odyssey in 12 minutes or less. Maybe more. It depends on how much of my rambling the editor cuts out. That reminds me of this one time when It's only available on the Switch. This definitely hits home because one of us had to go to our best friend's house to play Super Mario Odyssey. Not me though. I'm the sucker who paid 600 Canadian dollars to play Zelda. Yeah, it's true, being strapped for cash doesn't have a lot of benefits, and we can't justify substituting any more actual meals for ramen noodles and Easy Mac just to be able to afford the Nintendo Switch. That's why some of us might be lucky enough to have a good friend who lets us come over and play co-op on their Switch with them. Shout out to your best friend since 6th grade. You're the real MVP. If you're lucky enough to be able to throw down $300 on the console and another $60 on the game, then you lucky dog you. If you're not so lucky, then we guess you'll have to deal with your best friend trolling you as they play Cappy and do the exact opposite of what you want them to do. Fun fact, I tried playing 2-player mode by myself, and wouldn't you know it, it's impossible. Nintendo really had an amazing strategy with this game by creating what will most likely win Game of the Year as an exclusive game for the Nintendo Switch. It'll get more people interested and willing to shell out the cash, and for the rest of us, we'll just have to live vicariously through our wealthier friends. Okay, just come over to my place and I'll let you play it. I'll even let you be Mario. Anyway, well played, Nintendo. The art direction is all over the place. Picking up this game was like an awesome mix of being completely overwhelmed and also astonished. It's like wearing polka dots and stripes together and confusing everyone who looks in your direction. Wait, are polka dots and stripes not cool anymore? When did that happen? This describes what looking at the artwork of Super Mario Odyssey feels like. There isn't a lot of cohesiveness going on, which is interesting, but also pretty distracting. Sure, we're traveling to different kingdoms, and they should all have their own unique characteristics, but it shouldn't feel quite so overwhelming. It's okay to try out new designs. After all, this is the open-world Mario game we've all been waiting for. But when you're walking among a bunch of life-sized humans in New Donk City, it takes away from the immersion, especially when you're standing around a bunch of humans who aren't even in the right decade. What is with the 1950s outfits, yet everything else is super modern in New Donk City? Also, why does everyone have to wear a hat? I want to possess some humans! Man, that did not come out right. Maybe this wasn't a distraction for others, but it certainly was for us. It's okay, Mario. You're still a real boy to us, even if Nintendo game designers wanted to make you have an existential crisis. It brings back memories of past games. The moment we picked this up, it felt a lot like Wario Land, and this is the highest form of a compliment we can muster. They took the bunny villains straight out of the game. At first I thought this had something to do with Rabbids, but who could forget those lovable bunnies, Dunk and Shoot. They've been transformed into the Brutals and couldn't be more terrifying. We now have nightmare dreams about devious anthropomorphic bunnies. Then there's the whole levels changing with day and night variations, and the bizarre feeling of the game as a whole. It's why we love the Wario Land series so much, because it was something entirely different. We're happy the game designers pulled some of our favorite ideas from the series, but the fact that the only nod to Wario we get is a costume feels kind of disheartening. Did anyone else get an instant reminder of the disastrous 2006 Sonic the Hedgehog game when you saw Mario next to the life-sized humans? There's a reason most of us cringe when we see this. It's no use! It's like we're suffering from PTSD and the reminder of Sonic being kissed by a princess to come back to life. Let's just hope Mario doesn't have to kiss any real girls in Super Mario Odyssey, and seeing as Peach and Mario don't have much of a physical relationship, we should be safe. But what about Pauline? Collecting moons. If you suffer from OCD or you're a completionist, apparently the two are interchangeable, then you probably hate the amount of power moons, but it's a part of the game you have to accept. And you thought the Korok seeds were going to be the death of you. But then came the release of Super Mario Odyssey. This is kind of a lesson in letting things go. Unless you have all the time in the world, it's going to be next to impossible to snatch up all the moons in the game. Some of us have day jobs, you know? That is, unless you're Twitch streamer Okikurume and you collect them all in just a smidge over for 14 hours. But for the rest of us, we just have to let it go. The moons act as stars did in Super Mario 64 and shine sprites in Super Mario Sunshine. They allow you to power the Odyssey and let Mario reach additional kingdoms. The worst part is, when those final credits roll after you beat Bowser, you realize the fun is just beginning and there are even more moons to collect. Oh, the horror! Oh, and did we mention that to collect the final moon, you'll have to chuck Cappy 5,000 times, which Okikurume didn't even do in his 17-hour 100% run until the very end. That should take about 10 minutes in 2-player mode. Goodbye game over, hello coin depletion. For fans of old-school Nintendo games, there might be something seriously wrong when Mario dies in Super Mario Odyssey. Did anyone else notice that even when you lose life after life, Mario keeps coming back and there isn't even a game over screen? Instead, we just lose 10 coins. Call us masochists, but we kind of liked having to suffer the repercussions of failing. There was nothing quite like completely starting a level over after a major fail. I just love being kicked when I'm down. Apparently, the classic Mamma Mia phrase was removed to encourage players to explore Super Mario Odyssey's open world. But we don't know if we're buying that nonsense. I guess we shouldn't complain that the Nintendo team is taking it easy on us. But some things should just be left alone. Goodbye, game over screen. It was nice knowing you. Amiibo unlocks special abilities. Oh, did we already discuss the fact that some of us are strapped for cash? Oh well, we're gonna talk about it some more. Don't get us wrong, we love Amiibo. We've got hundreds of them hanging around. 4. But what could we possibly do with 3 more? You can buy all 3 versions of the game-exclusive Mario, Peach, and Bowser Amiibo dressed in wedding attire separately or as a set. They cost $12.99 as individual Amiibos, so you'll be paying around $36 for the set. So if you haven't bought a Switch, the game, or the Amiibo, you'll be looking at spending just under $400 for everything. Luckily, Nintendo wasn't too mean with people who couldn't get their hands on the Amiibo, since there is a way to get the wedding costumes. You'll just have to work for it. You will be missing out on some temporary bonuses though. The Mario Amiibo makes the plumber temporarily invincible, Peach gives you a life up heart, and Bowser will show you where to find coins in each kingdom. Even if you don't get these awesome perks, you can at least look dapper in your wedding outfits. You can even mix and match. Cappy can kill Mario. There's nothing quite like being possessed by a cap named Cappy to really complete our lives and make us realize sometimes nice guys really do finish last, especially in Mario's case. We would like to remind you that when it comes to Cappy, with great power comes great responsibility. We always knew there was something kind of off about those big bulgy eyes that possessed Mario's cap. I just thought he wore glasses. It turns out Cappy can kill Mario, but it's completely by accident. Or so that's what he would like us to believe. In order to complete the glitch in Super Mario Odyssey, you need to be playing in 2-player mode, ideally with someone else and not your other hand. After Mario uses Cappy to capture a piranha plant, which can only be completed by feeding it a rock, Cappy can then attack the plant, killing it and Mario in one fell swoop. The thing is, you don't actually die. You just disappear as Mario. The only way to fix this glitch is to fast travel to a nearby flag post where the beloved hero will be reincarnated. Nintendo forgot Luigi. We love that Super Mario Odyssey is packed with some of our all-time favorite Nintendo characters from the past and the present, but they forgot a major character we just couldn't ignore. Where in the world is Luigi? This might have something to do with him not being unlockable in previous games like Super Mario 64 or Super Mario Sunshine, both of which were used as inspiration for Super Mario Odyssey. It doesn't look like he'll be unlockable in the game, and we haven't heard any rumors of this being a possibility. If you really need a Luigi fix, you could always put Mario in his brother's classic green getup and pretend it's Super Luigi Odyssey instead. Oh man, maybe that'll be the DLC! Someday you will be loved, Luigi. Just not today. Maybe tomorrow. Maybe next week. No, wait, I got a thing. To be fair, at least the duo got to be together again in the Mario & Luigi Superstar Saga remake, which hit shelves in early October 2017 for the 3DS. The game doesn't really start until the final credits roll. Hi, I'd like to remind you that you're only on number 9 on this list and you haven't reached the final entry just yet. Guess who doesn't give this kind of a warning in their game? That's right, you might think you're done after defeating Bowser in Odyssey, but it turns out the fun is just beginning. It's actually fairly difficult to talk about the ending of Odyssey because, like any true masterpiece, it's left up to the player to decide this. The endgame is filled with moons to find, and some will force you to use advanced jumping and hat techniques to progress and succeed. The game may seem easy to beat, but if you want to truly master all Super Mario Odyssey has to offer, it can be much more challenging. I'm talking Nintendo hard. Once you've bested Bowser in the final battle, you can call it quits if you really wanted to. There's no one to urge you to go further, but you're going to miss some amazing rewards as well as not being able to advance your skills or snag those difficult moons. We just wish the entire game would be as challenging as the progression after the Bowser fight. Forced to use motion controls. When you grow up in a world full of choices, it's kind of hard to go back to being forced to do things. Maybe we don't want to use motion controls to play Super Mario Odyssey, Mom. And the great thing is, you don't have to. You only have to if you want access to all of Mario's abilities and moves. Okay, so what is this? Some weird communist video game where everyone has to be able to know how to use motion controls? It kind of is. Motion controls have always been a really polarizing topic with gamers, and there's been some amazing strides made by developers to make the technology better, but let's be honest, it just isn't all the way there yet. Whether you're a fan of motion controls or not is kind of a moot point. Super Mario Odyssey gives you the ability to turn off the controls in the menu, but you'll have to remember specific moves can only be performed with the controls on. Nintendo knew what they were doing when they added this to the game, and they clearly want players to use detached Joy-Cons, so we embrace the motion controls even if they have some major flaws. That's very sneaky beaky, Nintendo. Well, there you have it. Do you agree with this list? What has been your favorite part of the game? Is there anything you'd like to see in the next update? Feel free to share your thoughts and ideas on Super Mario Odyssey in the comments. Thanks for watching, and we hope you'll join us on our next gaming adventure.